What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another BTD Gaming Master Duel video, and today we're going to be looking at an interesting deck here in Master Duel. Now, if you saw a couple videos ago, I made a deck profile for Dark Magician in the TCG, but today we're going to look at Dark Magician in the standard Master Duel format, and you'll notice right away compared to the previous deck profile for the TCG, there are some significant changes. One of the biggest changes being is that we don't have Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Dragoon is banned, right now at least, in Master Duel in these standard formats. So that automatically brings the power level way down in this deck. And we're also not including cards like, obviously, Dragoon and Red Eyes Fusion and Red Eyes Black Dragon. That engine obviously isn't necessary, so we have to make good for what we have. So that's what we're going to try to do with this deck profile, and there are some similarities to it too. But yeah, let's just go through the card by card. So first things first, obviously we have 2 Dark Magician. I think 2 is a really good number because 3 can get very bricky very fast. We have an Effect Veiler. This is a hand trap, and this is mainly for our Halqifibrax plays and our Selene plays, getting the access code talker, which is basically our big boss monster in this deck. Next, we have 3 Magician Souls. You can special summon, and you can send either Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl to the grave, which is where you want those cards to be to trigger some other plays with cards we'll talk about down the line. So 3 Magician Souls, such a great card in this deck. Can be used as link material, can be used as link material for cards like Link Karibo. And you can just get all kinds of plays with this card. Magician Souls, a must include 3 of in this deck. Next, we have the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is Max C. For obvious reasons, you draw cards when your opponent special summons. And yeah, Max C, just a crazy card. We have Magician's Rod, which is your main searcher of the deck. Another thing to talk about too, a lot of the cards in this deck are searchable, so keep that in mind. Magician's Rod can also do some funny plays where you can put your Dark Magician that's on the field back to the graveyard and add Magician's Rod back to your hand, which can trigger other plays as well. So Magician's Rod, again, must include in this deck. It is your main searcher. We also have 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring as another hand trap. And we have Dark Magician Girl. Dark Magician Girl's function is to be in the graveyard and to work with cards like Magician's Salvation, which we'll look at in a second. So those are the monsters. Going on to the spell cards, we have Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster. Just 2 really good one-ofs. If you would rather include Lightning Storm, then include Lightning Storm, but I just like Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster as nice one-ofs in this deck. We have Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage. Now, just like in the TCG build, we are including a small Sky Striker package. We have Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage that can search Mecha Hornet drones, and then Mecha Hornet drones can special summon a token. You can link off that token for Sky Striker Ace Kagari, use Kagari's effect to get back Mecha Hornet drones, and then activate Mecha Hornet drone again, because it's not once per turn, to special summon another token. In this deck, you need as many resources as possible, and this little Sky Striker package can give you these resources basically for free. So just a really good inclusion in this deck. We have Magician's Salvation, which is a field spell. You can set Eternal Soul directly from your deck, and you can special summon Dark Magician by triggering the effect, or Dark Magician Girl rather, either or, depending which one's on the field. If Dark Magician is on the field, you can use Magician's Salvation to special summon Dark Magician Girl from the grave, and vice versa. Just a good tool to have in your deck for other plays. One of Magician's Salvations. We have 3 Dark Magical Circle. This card, once you kind of set up the combo, once you set up the engine, Dark Magical Circle is a house. And because we don't have cards like Dragoon that can easily get rid of cards on the field, you need 3 Dark Magical Circle. God forbid they get rid of 1 or whatever. You can add a Dark Magician card when you activate or look at 3 cards on the top of your deck. And you can, when if Dark Magician is normal or special summon to the field, which there are multiple ways to do that, as a quick effect, you can target one, well, not a quick effect, you can target one card on your opponent controls and banish it. And if you have sort of everything set up, this can be a really hard, a really difficult combo to deal with. Obviously, it's not foolproof. If your opponent gets rid of your Eternal Soul and gets rid of your Dark Magical Circle, it's pretty hard to get it back. So you have to be careful with that. But Dark Magical Circle must include 3. 2 called by the grave. Obviously, you want some of your plays to resolve. We have 3 Soul Servant, just a crazy card. You can draw cards using this. You can place a card at the top of your deck that lists Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl in its text, except for Soul Servant. You can combo with this card using cards like Magician Souls. Use special Magician Souls, send Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl to the grave. Then you can chain Soul Servant, put any card you want on top of the deck, then activate Soul Servant from the grave to draw that card. Very good. Secrets of Dark Magic, it's a quick play fusion card. And that is our spell lineup for the traps. 2 infinite permanents as a hand trap. Ice Dragon's Prison, just one of my favorite cards in general. Can really mess up your opponent's plays by its banishing effect. Solemn Judgment, what can I say? It's an Omni Negate. Skill Drain, we have 2 Skill Drain in this deck. And we have Eternal Soul. Now, Eternal Soul is famous for its setback, its drawback, which when it leaves the field, basically all your Dark Magician cards are gone. But if this card's able to stick, if you can keep this on the field, and you constantly combo Eternal Soul with Dark Magical Circle, alright, you can keep banishing opponent's cards. A nice little combo can be you activate Eternal Soul, special summon Dark Magician from your graveyard, which triggers your Dark Magical Circle that can banish a card on your opponent's side of the field, and then you can activate Magician's Rod to put your Dark Magician back in the graveyard, get Magician's Rod back into your hand, and then you can do the same thing with Eternal Soul next turn. It's almost like this loop, and this loop is really hard to deal with unless your opponent has something like a Heartbeat, Feather Duster, or a Lightning Storm. Then it's very easy to deal with. But if you can really get it going and really disrupt your opponent, then it's hard to deal with. That's why you include cards like Solemn Judgment to Omni Negate those back row clearing cards like Lightning Storm or Duster. Even with Skill Drain, negating effects of monsters that might remove cards from your back row. So you need to protect this card at all costs. Because once you get sort of that machine, that engine going, it can be a nightmare for your opponent. So that is the main deck. Going on to the side deck, we have Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. This card can protect your Eternal Soul. We have the Dark Magicians as your fusion cards. Again, Dark Magicians lets you draw a card, which is really nice. When a spell or trap card is activated, you can trigger this to draw a card, which is good. Number 11 Big Eye lets you take control from an opponent's monster. Ebon Illusion Magician, 2 level 7 monsters, gets an Xyz monster on the field if you want a Zeus play. So those are your Xyz and fusion monsters. We have Link Spider. Again, you can link off maybe a token your opponent put on your side of the field, or you can even link off your own Dark Magician to then trigger your Eternal Soul, which triggers your Dark Magical Circle, which lets you banish a card on your opponent's side of the field. These plays can happen. We have Link Karibo, just a good card all around. You would link off your Magician Souls or a token that's level 1. We went over Kagari for your Sky Striker engine. Artemis the Magistus, it's a spellcaster deck, so it's a nice Link one to have. We have Crystron Hauki Fibrax, and we also have Selene, Queen of the Magicians, and Access Code Talker, which is why we include a card like Effect Veiler to get that play off, so we can get our Access Code Talker onto the field and hopefully swing for game or just blow up your opponent's board. IP Masquerena, just a good link too, which gives your link monsters protection. You can also link summon on your opponent's turn. Prayer Plant versus the Anaconda, it's another link to the have. You'd really only use it for this fusion card for Secrets of Dark Magic. We have Nightmare Unicorn as well, which can also not only get rid of maybe a pesky card on your opponent's side of the field, but that can also go into an access code talker play. So this is the deck for Dark Magician. Let's now take a look and see how they perform. Alright, here we go for our first replay of our Dark Magician Master Duel deck profile. And let's see what we're going up against. And an interesting hand, we do get the Mobilize Engage, which means we can get some plays off. Our opponent is just going to set and activate Soul Absorption. Interesting. Let's see what kind of deck this could possibly be. We're going to draw. We get Solemn Judgment. We're going to activate Engage, and we're going to get Hornet Drones. Activate Hornet Drones to special summon our token. And then we're going to link off typical Sky Striker stuff here. We're going to get our Kagari out onto the field. And then we're going to activate Kagari's effect. We're going to get the Hornet Drones back into our hand. We're going to activate Hornet Drones again to get another token onto the field. Again, resource after resource. Activate Dark Magical Circle. Maybe we get something. We get Eternal Soul, which is very, very good. Magician's Rod to search Soul Servant. We're going to activate Soul Servant. We're going to put Magician's Souls at the top. And we're going to link off. And we actually are in a very good situation here. We're going to get Celine, Queen of the Master Magicians, onto the field. Activate Celine to get our counters. We're going to remove the counters. And then we're going to special summon our Dark Magician. And this is going to get our Dark Magical Circle out. We're going to banish Soul Absorption. Activate Soul Servant to get the Magician Souls. Special the Magician Souls by saying Dark Magician Girl. Activate Magician Souls. We're going to get 2 draws. And then we're going to link off. And then we are going to summon our access code talker, and this is this puts our opponent in a bad spot. We're going to banish our Celine. We're going to boom, destroy. Looks like it's a Gravekeeper card. We're going to get rid of the back row. We're going to link off Dark Magician, and then we're going to summon our Link Spider. This gets Dark Magician into the grave for our Eternal Soul play maybe in the future. Attack with Link Spider and Scrap Iron Scarecrow. Alright, this isn't really a big problem. We can deal with this pretty easily now that we have Eternal Soul set. We have Dark Magical Circle. We'll activate Eternal Soul. We're going to special summon Dark Magician. We're going to activate Ice Dragon's Prison just to get another body onto our side of the field to keep the card advantage up. So we get his Gravekeeper. We're going to special summon Dark Magician, and this is going to trigger Dark Magical Circle. So Dark Magical Circle is going to banish the Scrap Iron Scarecrow. We're going Magician's Rod to get Dark Magician back into the grave, and you'll see why in a second. So we get Magician's Rod back to our hand because of its effect. Circle will resolve, and then on our next turn, we're going to activate Eternal Soul again to special summon the Dark Magician again to trigger the Dark Magical Circle again. We're going to Secrets of Dark Magic to get a fusion summon in, and we're actually going to summon the Dark Magicians. Not that it matters all that much. This is going to be game. We do use his Gravekeeper as material for this card, funny enough. Circle resolves, gets rid of the Mirror Force, and we're going to swing for game, and that will be a pretty good win for Dark Magician. Alright, here we go with our next replay. And we saw, again, once you set up that Eternal Soul and Magician's Circle, can be kind of difficult to deal with. We have an interesting hand here. 2 Solemn, a Skill Drain, Call By, and Rod. We are going first. We summon Rod, activate Rod. They have... oh, Ursartic. Interesting. We're actually going to Call By the Ursartic monster to negate the effect, because we want to keep at least some advantage going here. And I know they might have some plays their next turn, but at least it banishes a card. We don't have a ton to do here. We'll get Soul Servant, just to get a card at the top of the deck. But yeah, we're just going to set 2, and we're going to see how this goes. And they're going to activate the Yugioh from their hand. And then they have some plays here. They're going to get a big guy on the field. And the 2800 Yugioh monster, the Yugioh Megabilis, or however you say it, they get the field spell, Big Dipper, and now they have an interesting board setup here. And there's really nothing worth skill draining, by the way, so we're kind of stuck there. So let's see where this goes. Magician Souls is a good rip off the top, so we're going to activate Souls. We're going to send Dark Magician, and they have a trap, pay 7 for Quint charge, but we're going to solemn that. We don't want them saying anything else up. Now, we're really kind of exposing ourselves here. It's kind of a risk, but hopefully it pays off. You know, Solemn Judgment is one of those cards where, you know, hopefully you are using it correctly, but we do get Soul Servant, we get a draw, and another skill drain. Not great. So we're just going to get the skill drain and get a new draw. We get Ice Dragon's Prison. We're going to link off the souls for Link Karibo, and we at least have some defense. We'll see what they get their next turn here. And they're just going to attack. We're going to Link Karibo, and we're also going to Ice Dragon's Prison here to at least get another body on our side of the field, because we're kind of defenseless at the moment. So there's really nothing they can do here. Link Karibo is going to bring the attack down to 0. And that's going to be it for their turn. So back to ours, and hopefully we get a good rip off the top. Eternal Soul is a great rip. We just have to wait till next turn. Not having the Dark Magical Circle does kind of hurt, though. And they are going to get another body on the field, though, because of their field spell. They're going to banish the Yugioh, but we're going to activate Eternal Soul. We're going to special summon Dark Magician again, so we have another body on the field, so that, you know, we're not friggin' dead. So you do get the special summon. They're going to activate our Magician's Rod. We're going to Rod back to hand. Now this is a good setup because when we summon Rod next turn, we can get our Dark Magical Circle. But we're in a really compromised state here. We only have 900 life points left. Let's see this do or die here. Magician's Soul is probably one of the best rips we could have gotten. We're going to activate Rod to get our Soul Servant. Activate Soul Servant. We're going to put Circle at the top. We're going to trigger Soul Servant from the graveyard to banish it, to draw the Dark Magical Circle. Activate Dark Magical Circle. We get another Dark Magician. That's crazy. We're going Magician Soul. Send the Dark Magician Girl. We're going Eternal Soul to special summon Dark Magician from the grave. And we might do this. We're going to special summon Dark Magician. We're going to special summon Magician Souls. We're going to trigger Dark Magical Circle to banish their monster. We're going to Link Karibo to get Link Karibo on the field for that second line of defense. We're going to banish their monster here from Dark Magical Circle. And we're in a good spot because we're going to Link Spider Dark Magician off. So now we can get some more plays here. We're going to link all 3 off. And we're going to get our Selene. And we know where this is going. Activate Selene effect. Get our counters. Remove the counters. We're going to special summon Dark Magician Girl. Could have been any of them. Link them off for access code Talker. And our opponent kind of knows that this is sort of the end because we have the setup, we have Circle, we have Eternal Soul, we have Talker, and they're kind of not in a great spot here. Activate Talker, destroy their monster, attack directly, and now it's our opponent's turn. They're in a rough spot. Will they get anything good off the top? They draw. What do they have? Dark Hole. But we're going to Solemn Judgment the Dark Hole to protect our access code Talker. We're down to 450 life points. Unbelievable. And our opponent is going to surrender there. Wow. We really hung in there. Oh, man. That was crazy. And here we go with our last replay of the video here. We saw 2 pretty crazy games here, but let's see how this one goes. We're going to draw an interesting first hand. Getting Magician's Circle and Soul Servant in your hand at the same time is pretty good. All they have is a set, so we're in a pretty good spot here. Veiler isn't a bad rip. We're going to activate Circle. They're going to Ash the Circle, which kind of blows, but we can still change Soul Servant to at least get the card at the top of the deck. And the card we're going to put at the top of the deck will be the Dark Magician, so we have a guarantee Dark Magician card because we have Eternal Soul in our hand. We're going to set 3 other cards and pass it to our opponent. Let's see what they have, and oh my. Nothing. They're going to max C this. Maybe they thought I had a Dark Magician in my hand? Well, that gamble didn't really work out for them, so it's just going to be our turn, and we are going to draw a Dark Magician. And then we're going to activate Eternal Soul. Eternal Soul is going to, well, there's another Maxi, but I'm not that worried about it. So we are going to resolve Eternal Soul here. They'll get a draw, but we still get Dark Magician onto the field, and this will still trigger our Dark Magical Circle. We're going to banish their face down, which was just a polymerization. They're going to Ash the Soul Servant. That hurts. 2 Ash Blossoms this game is not very good, but I guess to be fair, it doesn't seem like they drew very well in their opening turns. So we're going to get a 2500 attack in, and we're going to link off Dark Magician. This is important. We're linking off Dark Magician for Link Spire, so now this puts our Eternal Soul play online for next turn if need be. So they're going to draw, activate, oh, we're going up against Blue Eyes, Melody of Awakening Dragon, but we're going to Solemn that. We don't want them getting any plays. And he is gone. And now they only have a card in defense, so we're in a pretty good spot. We're going to Eternal Soul, and Dark Magician is going to come down. We're going to activate Circle to banish. It's their stone, but they have another stone in the graveyard, so they still get their Blue Eyes. They're going to activate the effect to try and get rid of the Circle, but we skill drain to negate the effect, so now our Dark Magical Circle is going to stay on the field. Oh my goodness. And skill drain coming in clutch. We get Rod, and this is basically game here. We're going to link them off, and we're going to make our IP Masquerena, and this will activate, we will activate our Eternal Soul. We're going to special summon Dark Magician. We're going to trigger Dark Magical Circle, banish their monster, and they knew that was the beginning of the end. Dark Magician takes down Blue Eyes. Alright, well, that was the deck, and I would be lying to you if I didn't say those replays were examples of things going extremely right against maybe not the most powerful decks in this current format. Look, Dark Magician in this Master Duel standard format, it's one of those decks where you'll have a good time playing it. If you get the setup, you can make stuff happen, but the fact of the matter is, without Dragoon, this deck just doesn't have the same power level. You know, it's nice, I guess, casually, but it's, I wouldn't sit here and say that, yeah, this deck is particularly good. It can do stuff, it can do good things, but if you brick, or if someone interrupts you, or gets rid of something on your side of the field that interferes with sort of that engine, that recurring engine that you need, you're gonna have a bad time. And, you know, but it is very satisfying winning with this deck because, you know, it's Dark Magician. So I am gonna say the TCG version of this deck is definitely much better because you do have cards like Illusion of Chaos. You do have cards like Dragoon to run. And this deck doesn't have access to those cards, at least not yet. You know, I hope pretty soon you can get Illusion of Chaos. Hopefully that card is released soon. Once that card comes out in Master Duel, this deck looks a lot different. You know, this isn't the end all be all. There's other cards you can run in this deck. You know, there's cards like the Apprentice Illusion Magician, or the Palladium cards, or Secret Village, or maybe different hand traps, or different regular traps, or whatever. You know, not everyone is a fan of the Sky Striker engine in this deck. I'm just a fan of adding as many resources onto the field as possible. But this deck is not a finished product, not in the slightest. It needs some more cards into the game for it to be better. Yes, there's plenty of Dark Magician cards out there, but they're not all good. So that's the key here. This is sort of the starting point with this deck. Hopefully down the line, we'll be making a new deck profile, a new video that includes some of those other cards that gives this deck much more consistency and ups the power level a bit. So yeah, but that's kind of where we're at right now. This was a Master Duel deck profile for Dark Magician, so make sure, like the video, subscribe, try the deck out, and yeah, that's the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.